And we're live. All right, Model Rock 321 here. Welcome back to the channel. Another video, just revisiting an old discussion. But before I get to that discussion, go on and subscribe to the channel. If you like rockets, space, any of that stuff, especially model rockets, if you build, launch rockets, collect anything, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. I'll bring you all kinds of stuff here. And also hit that thumb up the video. Give this video a like. Help it in the algorithm. Share the video. Feel free to send it to a friend. You can copy the link. Hit that share button. You can copy the link and paste it anywhere you want. You can send it through a text. Do anything you want to do. Just want to share it and get more people to check out this great hobby that we have. Whether you've been around the hobby a long time, or whether you're a newcomer, I may be able to show you a few things, and you may be able to show me some things, because I don't know it all, and I'm constantly learning from people that are around, even from the comments, and from some friends too. So it's Model Rocks 321. So today I'm just going to revisit a discussion about the greatest model rocket of all time. For me, there's quite a few that I like, but I have. And did I change my stance? That's the question. Did I change my stance on the greatest? We'll talk about that a little bit. We're going to look at some rockets, and we're going to talk about rockets and the greats of all time, and what it takes to be the greatest of all time. You know, I'm going to start off with the Big Bertha. That gets a lot of mention. I was surprised when I did a video before about the greatest, what I think I know the greatest model rocket of all time is. Many people stood up for the Big Bertha. Many people like this rocket. A lot of people started with it. It's also, I believe it's Vern Estes' favorite rocket. I think it's one of his early designs. So that put this rocket in that greatest of all time status for some people. It's not it's on the list, but it's not the top greatest of all time for me. It's my personal opinion on it. But it is a great one, a nice slow lift off. I prefer that. That should have been like an entry level rocket, I think, above the Alpha. I was talking to a friend recently about the Alpha. The Alpha is a great rocket, but if you fly this and you're unfamiliar, you can easily lose this rocket. It is a high flying rocket, especially on the C engine. Even on an A engine, it gets up there pretty good. But on a C engine, this thing, it pretty much can get out of sight on you. And if you're not used to the flow of how a model rocket launches, you're just looking at the pad and the rocket's still going. I've had people do that. They're like, where'd it go? And I'm like, it's just right there. They don't even see it. I've had that happen. You can easily lose the Alpha. So I think the Big Bertha would have been a great entry-level rocket as a starter set and everything like that. With everything you need, you just build it. But it could be a difficult build. I don't know. The fins, I don't know. It should have been easy. I don't know. It's kind of easy to build. Skill level 1, I think. But I just think the Big Bertha is a good one, starter set. But the Alpha also, it's small enough, 3 fins, nose cone, just classic design, super stable, no issues with it. Definitely on the list of greats. I won't take nothing away from it there. Definitely on the list of greats. Another one I think people like on the list is the Red Max. To me, I move it down a little further. I like it a lot. Cool design, very cool. But you know, it's on the greats. It's one of the greats. A lot of people like. And that's all I gotta say about that. A lot of people like the Red Max. Now we're gonna move into the Little Joe 2, which is probably my either number 1 or number 2 when it comes to the greats of all time. I mean, 1, 2, and 3. Saturn V is up there. 4. I mean, that could be 1. It's just a group of rockets that can have that number 1 spot that I think. And one here that I recently acquired, if you can see, this is the Saturn 1B. This is the K29. When I got one of these from a friend for a decent price. So this is encroaching on that number 1 spot. I'm planning on building this. It's vintage. This is the one that is the cluster of 4 engines. This is a cluster of 4 with 3 parachutes. I'm planning on building. It's big. It's 37 inches tall. You know the Saturn V, yes, this one is 43. So this is a big Saturn 1B. I'm planning on building it. Like I said, I build these things. This one's already an open box. The this back here, the 1KS8 Little Joe by Century will not get built. That's my own shelf queen. It's sealed in plastic, 1971, I believe. Very old. It's sealed, so I'm not even going to bother because I have the Estes version of it to fly, even though that flies on the cluster, which is really nice. So as we move down that list, so I'm fighting between Saturn V being number one, Saturn 1 being number one. The Mars lander is high up there, man. I mean, it's a day like this is greatness. When you talk about my rocket greatness, I love the Mars lander. I'm a huge Little Joe 2 fan, as you know, and Little Joe 1. I like them all, so it's hard. That number one spot is hard, but I will reserve that number one spot for the Mars lander every time. Every time I come back to it, the Saturn V's are great, the Pershings are great. It's a lot of great rockets, but for me, it never, nothing can touch the Mars lander. Nothing can touch this, kid. Here's my vintage one in the box, open box. Vintage one in the box. Nothing can touch this to me. The landing gear, just the look. Just nothing can touch the Mars lander. Nothing can touch it. This is my Simrock one that I fly. I've seen it flown a few times on this channel. You can check the videos. It lands on its legs. It's just so great. Even though the multi-parachute ones, and there's many. Saturn V is great. Like I said, it got the two sections. It comes down nice. This one has multi-parachutes. When I build this and fly on that cluster, that'll probably be nice. Scissor Wing Transport is another one that gets no love, I don't think, when it comes to talking about the boost glider. It swings around and transforms. Let me grab it. Got it right here. Got it right here. So here's the great Scissor Wing Transport launches. You know, here's the wing. It kind of swings around. It gets mounted in place. Sorry about that. I'm too close. It gets mounted in place. Once it goes up, it kicks out its pods, and that wing swing around, and it glides back down. And this works flawlessly. I had a crash of it way back if you check some of the earlier videos from some months ago. But this is another one that can be on that list, man. I love the Scissor Wing. Scissor Wing is a great rocket, like a great demonstration of a boost glider, like a rocket power glider, and it transforms in the air and it comes back. So that's a great one, but that spot for me is still the crown, still belong. You know, it's open though. It's open. It can get, once I build the Mercury Joe, Saturn 1B, who knows, that spot could change. But but for right now, the Mars lander, whatever version holds it. I want the Tango Papa. There's a big version. I missed it, had chances to get it, kept putting it off, and now he retired them. So I always keep an eye out for one of the Tango Papa, one of the bigger versions of this. And I'll probably end up, I want one to build and fly. But yeah, so the Mars lander still holds the crown as the greatest model rocket of all time, according to Model Rocks 321. Everyone has their favorites, but for me, the Mars lander holds the crown. But encroaching on that is the Saturn 1B, because I think this thing is going to be really nice once I build it. Yeah, 4-engine cluster. It's encroaching, but just this. Nothing beats this shape. Nothing beats just this rocket, man. Nothing beats this. So Mars lander, you still got your crown. I know Big Bertha's hanging out around you. You got the Alpha's hanging out around you. You got the Little Joe 2s. You got all these other great rockets. I mean, even the Mercury Atlases. There's a lot of good stuff out there. Even the Astron Omega, man, that two-stager from way back. There's many great ones, man. I know a lot of people like the Super Vega, Mars Snooper. There's a lot of rockets that can go on that list. But for me, the Mars lander, still greatest model rocket of all time. Drop a comment below. We can revisit this. I'm still gonna hold on to that Mars lander because the landing gear, like the landing gears work. Look at the legs. They got that bouncy action. Sticks to landing. Real cool. This is Model Rocks 321. Drop a comment. Like I said, be sure to share the videos. Put it in some kind of groups. If there are some rocket groups you know, share it. Send it to a friend. This is Model Rocks 321, and I will see you again.